Welcome everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Rainer. This is Rainier Books. This is a German booktubers channel based in Sweden, speaking about books written or translated into English. It is that time of year again. It's not Christmas, but it's the mid of the year has already gone. Half of the year is behind us, and today is the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to all my friends in the United States, by the way. Happy Independence Day. So it's time for the mid-year book Freakout tag. Let's get started. The mid-year book Freakout tag is a tradition on BookTube. I do this for the second time since this is my second year on BookTube. It was originally created by Chami and by Earl Grey Books, and I put the links to their channels down below, and I think that Chami is no longer on BookTube. When I prepared this video, I was looking for I was trying to look at some of your videos, of my fellow booktubers' videos with a mid-year book Freakout tag, and I discovered that until I started researching, it was in the morning today, 283 videos had been uploaded this year with a mid-year book Freakout tag. So 283 videos. I link a couple of their videos, of your videos, down below. So let's get started with the questions. Let's get started with the prompts. The questions are, of course, number one, the best book that you've read so far in 2021. I have read 24 books in 2021, which is a little below what I was aiming for. I was aiming at 26. I'm still aiming at reading one book per week, but I haven't reached that goal yet, so I'm a little behind. 24 books, and I think the best book that I've read so far this year is Imbolo Mbue's How Beautiful We Were, published in March 11 this year in the United Kingdom by Canongate Books. How Beautiful We Were is the story of an African village and of villagers in an African village fighting against the pollution and destruction of their village by an American oil company and by the corrupt government of their country, which is not named in the book, by Imbolo Mbue. And this is a beautiful narrated by a couple of different perspectives. And after all the fight that they have put into the case, they know that they cannot win this case, but I think they still do this. They still do their fight with a lot of dignity. And this is a beautiful narrative by Imbolo Mbue, How Beautiful We Were. The best sequel you've read so far in 2021. Well, I don't read a lot of series, but as you know, when you watch my channel, I read thrillers. And some of these thrillers, of course, they have the same personnel, the same staff, the same inspectors or detective chief inspectors or even detective chief superintendents. And I'm talking about Peter Robinson here because this was the best of the three sequels that I've read so far this year. Peter Robinson's novel Not Dark Yet, I think it was published this year as well. And it's the story of Detective Superintendent Alan Banks investigating the disappearance of Zelda, a young woman who has been sex trafficked when she was very young inside the Balkan and in Eastern Europe. She ended up in Paris and then in England, and she gets kidnapped by bad guys, and Alan Banks is trying to find her. At the same time, her assistant Annie Cabot is looking for the killer of a real estate mogul who has gotten too close to really bad people. Yeah. 3, the new release you haven't read yet but want to. There are so many new releases that I want to read that I haven't gotten to. And if I had a tiny little portion of the gift of the great Steve Donahue to read 25 books while I read one book, then this list would be a lot shorter, the list of books that I want to read. But since I should name one book here, in this case, I would go for Open Water by Caleb Azumah Nelson from England. This is a debut novel. As I understand, it's the life of a black heterosexual couple in London of today, with all what this implies. Open Water by Caleb Azumah Nelson. Number 4, the most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I'm not so well informed about which catalog, which books are going to be released in the second half of the year. And there are hundreds and if not thousands, of course. And to find those small pieces, those beautiful corns that we're looking for, those pieces of gold, those diamonds, I'm not getting through. I'm not researching all the time what publishers are going to publish. But one title that I'm really interested in, and that is coming on August 3 by Echo in the United States, is a collection of short stories by Anthony Yeasna. And the book is called Afterparties, and that is a collection of short stories that deal with the Cambodian immigrant experience in the United States, and sort of reminds me a little bit of Suvankam Tumavongsa's How to Pronounce Knife, which dealt with the Laotian immigrants' experience in Canada. So I would love to read Afterparties by Anthony Yeasna. So, hope I get his name right here. Number 5, the biggest disappointment. Frankly and definitely, the biggest disappointment for me yet was this book, Fake Accounts by Lauren Oyler, which was published earlier this year. This is about millennials, and it's about life within and with social media. And it really got me more or less a boring read. And I think it was boring. It was an essayish novel with characters that I could not identify with and that I did not like at all. And that is not depending on that I am old and these guys are one generation younger. It was boring for me. It was not not a Rainier Books novel, Fake Accounts by Lauren Oyler. Number 6. Baby, what a big surprise, right here for my very eyes. That's a song by Chicago, but that's almost the question. What was the biggest surprise for you, the most positive surprise for you in 2021 with all the books that you have read? And I would definitely go for a book that was published last year, a novel that is placed in South Dakota, an imprint of HarperCollins Publishers, and this is Winter Counts by David Heska, Wanbli, Weiden. It's a thriller, and I expected to read a thriller, only a thriller maybe, so my expectations weren't so high, but then I read a compelling account of life on the reservation in South Dakota, and I met a very interesting new character called Virgil Wounded Horse that I have heard we are going to meet again, because sequel, David Heska, Wanbli, Weiden is supposed to write a sequel. He already has written another story with Virgil Wounded Horse. I recommend this book very much. Winter Counts by David Heska, Wanbli, Weiden. Number 7 is, do you have a favorite new author, a debut author, or new to you? I think I would never count in debut authors as new favorite authors, because I'm such a critical person that I want to have 2 good books by an author to call her or call him or call them a new favorite author, because I need 2 good pieces, right? 1 good piece is not enough. So I am thinking of going for Lawrence Osborne with his novel The Glass Kingdom. I still have to make that single review of that book. I realize now. I have listened to to his last novel before The Glass Kingdom, Only to Sleep, which deals with an aging, almost 70-year-old Philip Marlowe, a detective that was created by Raymond Chandler, and Lawrence Osborne had the permission of the Raymond Chandler estate to write another book about Philip Marlowe. and he did so very well. I listened to that book 2 years ago. And The Glass Kingdom is a book that is about a glass kingdom in Bangkok, Thailand, where Lawrence Osborne is living. A couple of people of expatriates meet, a couple of schemes are evolving, and more or less this building and this city plays the center, the main character role in this novel. And that's what I liked about it, about The Glass Kingdom by Lawrence Osborne, how this building, this large apartment building that is 4 buildings actually, that is inhabited by people, by humans, is slowly getting invaded by lizards, by mosquitoes, by whatever strange things. A great book by Lawrence Osborne. I want to read more of this guy who is so often compared to Graham Greene. Number 8. What is your newest fictional crush? Do you fall in love with characters in books that you're reading? Maybe I'm too old for it. Blame my age. Blame whatever. Blame my not existing romanticism. But I don't fall in love with characters in books that I read. I like characters. I like them. Yeah, some I like, some I dislike, but I don't fall in love with them. So I pass always on question number 8. Number 9, newest favorite character. What is your newest favorite character? I have one. I just finished the 24th book that I finished yesterday of 2000, which actually doesn't count for the first half of the year, but I count it in because I do the video today, okay? So the 24th book was Haruki Murakami's first person singular, 8 short stories that the master has now published in first person singular. And there's one story that is called Confessions of a Shinagawa Monkey. And my new favorite character, at least for the next week or so, is the Shinagawa Monkey, who works in an onsen. An onsen is a historical bath in Japan. He works as a waiter in an onsen, and he speaks our language. At least he speaks Japanese. And he is drinking some beers with the eye narrator, which probably might be Haruki Murakami. And I like that monkey. He's a great guy. Number 10. From Happiness to Sadness. A book that made you cry. Easy answer. If this book doesn't make you cry, my dear friends, then you have a heart of stone. Mayflies by Andrew O'Hagan. I also discovered a new great author from Scotland. Andrew O'Hagan is apparently a great guy in British literature, and I haven't read a single book of him before Mayflies. That is really bad of me. But I read Mayflies, and this is the story of male friendship, the exploration of male friendship as well, of 2 guys who are best friends in their youth, who go together with a bunch of pals, a bunch of lads, a bunch of blokes, to Manchester to a pop concert in the 1980s, and then 30 years later, the best friends meet again because one best friend calls the other one and says, I need your help because I'm going to die. A reflection about the inevitability of loss, the friendship, and the beautiful times of life. Mayflies by Andrew O'Hagan. I want to read more of Andrew O'Hagan. A book that made you happy. And a book that made me happy is, I think, also an easy answer. So easy this year. It's Beauriful, The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. Another collection of short stories from the United States. Was nominated, I think even shortlisted for the National Book Award in the United States of 2020. This is about church ladies, about Afro-American women in the American South. My favorite story is still Peach Cobbler because I want to eat peach cobbler. And I cannot forget this since I read that book. So maybe I just have to do it. Beauriful, The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. Stories with a lot of humor, with a lot of grotesque situations. Really love it. I really love the author, and I can't wait for her second book. The question number 12 now is the most beautiful book that you bought or received in the year of 2021 yet. And also here, the answer is so simple. It is, for me, I haven't read it yet, but the cover, I love the cover, and I think this is all about covers. This is The First Woman by Jennifer Nansugi Makumbi. The First Woman with this amazing cover. Yes. And here we go with the last question already of the mid-year book out tag. Book year, freak out, whatever tag. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? Okay, this is going to be a long video. I can name hundreds of books here. I can name 200 books, but I'm not going to make it. So I think I limit myself to 5 here, but I want to read much, much more. Let me give you those 5 novels that I have to read. The first one is, it's called Infinite Country by Patricia Engel, or Engel. It's a German last name. And I don't know how Patricia or Patricia is pronouncing that. I think she is an American author. She is living in, she won the International Latino Book Award. So she's a Latinx author from born from Colombian parents, but living in Miami and teaching creative writing in Miami. Infinite Country is one of the 5 books that I want to read until the end of the year. Another one is one that some of you have named as their favorite book, Sean the Book Maniac and Greg from Supposedly Fun. Both have named this book as their favorite read yet this year, and they did it as a buddy read, which is beautiful. That would be The Yield by Tara June Winch from Australia. I want to read that book, and I've already ordered it from the library. Another one that I also saw at Greg's, and that I had on my list before, but thanks Greg for reminding me of it, is The Bad Muslim Discount by Syed Massoud, about 2 Muslims, I think in California, with a beautiful, beautiful cover, and probably also a very good book. I have also pre-ordered this book from the library, and it will arrive in a few weeks. Then I have 2 books here. I actually should do a book haul, but I haven't done it yet, of some books that I bought. This would be The Eighth Girl by Maxine Mei Fang Chung. The Eighth Girl by Maxine Mei Fang Chung. It was published also this year by William Morrow I think in London. And this is about a character, a personality, a multi-personality character. One woman, multiple personas, but which one is telling the truth? The Eighth Girl by Maxine Mei Fang Chung, which is a debut novel. And the last book, I limited myself to 5 here, is a novel that will be a major picture. How do you say that? Will be a major motion picture, probably with Brad Pitt. Although Brad Pitt is not a Japanese guy, right? Because this book is this book's from a Japanese author and with Japanese characters. And this is by Kotaro Isaka, and it's a bestseller around the world, and it's called Bullet Train. And soon to be a major motion picture. 5 killers board a train in Tokyo. Who will make it to the last station? I love Japanese books, and this is one that I want to read by the end of the year of 2021. Please drop me a comment down in the section down below. If you don't have your own video of this, if you tell me what is your favorite read of 2021? What was the book that you cried for or about? What was the book that made you happy? All these questions are great questions. I think this is by far the greatest tag on BookTube, and it will return. And my video should be the 284th. Probably already a couple of people have uploaded their videos to BookTube. So we have so many different videos of this mid-year book, Freakout tag, which show also the variety of things, of tastes and of directions, of genres on BookTube. Thanks very much for watching this. I hope that you liked it. We still are careful when we go outside. We socially distance and we wear a mask within situations where we cannot distance ourselves from others. So have a happy Sunday and have a happy new week. And I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.